It's a shame that kids have to be put through that, and us parents trusted her.
Police arrested Kentucky daycare owner they say abused a child. An Eastern Kentucky family forced out of their home today after a rock slide damaged much of it.
Several big names in the music industry, like the Backstreet Boys and Montgomery and Gentry, are here tonight in Lexington. Coming up, I'll tell you why.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening on this Friday. She was supposed to be caring for children, but tonight police say a Knox County daycare owner abused one of them. State police arrested 33-year-old Tracy Ford this afternoon. She's been charged with criminal abuse. New tonight, Garrett Weimer talked to a mother who says she saw what happened. It's our top story at 11.
Brittany Martin brought her kids here, Rainbow and Lollipop Daycare, for 3 months.
It makes you feel awful that you dropped your kids off there every day thinking they were safe, and really they're not. And now they're hurt by it, and you don't know what's going through their mind of what she's done to them.
Martin says she was shocked and reported it after she saw how the owner tried to put another child down for a nap.
Parents don't.
Martin asked that we not show her face or her children for their protection.
She was placing a beanbag on top of the child to put him to sleep and using her body weight against him.
Kentucky State Police say they started investigating after they got a call about a 2-year-old being abused. Troopers ended up arresting Tracy Ford, who owns and runs the daycare. Ford was brought here to the Knox County Detention Center. She's been charged with first-degree criminal abuse of a child under 12 years old.
She should have to pay for what she's done to these children. She thinks it's all right in her head, and it's not. I don't know how she treats her own children, but I don't like mine being treated like that, and I know other parents don't.
Even as the investigation continues, Martin says she quit her job to take care of her kids herself.
It's a shame that kids have to be put through that, and us parents trusted her.
Now she hopes to see the doors here stay closed forever. In Corbin, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
And state leaders say the Office of the Inspector General has opened an investigation into that daycare. An Eastern Kentucky family says they've lost their home because of a rock slide. A boulder crashed into their home in Floyd County this afternoon following a storm. Some of the walls of the home even collapsed. No one was injured, but the father and daughter who live at the home say they don't have insurance and they're not sure if they'll be able to repair the home.
Right now, I don't know what to think. You know, everything's going through my mind, and it's just something you got to live with.
The father and daughter plan to stay with friends or family members for now. They're hoping to find volunteers to help with cleanup and repairs. Emergency managers now say 2 people were killed when large tornadoes tore across northern Illinois last night. Both the victims lived in Fairdale, a small town west of Chicago. Meteorologists are still trying to figure out how many tornadoes touched down there last night, but they say one of them was an EF4 with winds up to 200 miles per hour. Emergency managers say that every home in Fairdale was either damaged or destroyed in the tornadoes. Back here in Kentucky, a man had a very close call when a tree fell on his van during a storm. It happened last night in Ashland. Joshua Howard says he was driving the van for his church's jail ministry recovery program. He had stopped the van and started shooting video of hail hitting the van. And that's when a tree fell on the van. Howard was not hurt. He says he's lucky to be alive.
So many thoughts go through my head. It felt like an hour I was in there. I was scared.
New Destiny Ministries, which owns the van, is now hoping to raise money for a new one. Leaders say it was the only transportation for people in the jail ministry program. The storms finally moved out this morning, and it looks a lot better for this weekend. Let's check in now with our chief meteorologist, Chris Bailey, with an early look at the forecast. Chris?
Yeah, it really could only get better from where we have been, but right on cue today, the drier weather moving into town, and it looks like it's going to stick around for a little while. A little on the chilly side, though, especially compared to this point last night. We were in the 70s. We're into the mid and upper 40s right now in many cases. 49 Lexington, Frankfort, 48 for the good folks into Danville. Mount Sterling checking in right now at 46 degrees. Quick peek at your Saturday forecast. 40-ish, maybe some upper 30s to begin things with a touch of some valley fog tomorrow afternoon. With plenty of sunshine, we will hit the 60s. And the dry weather that we've had for the most part this afternoon into the evening is going to continue. Live First Alert Defenders done a heck of a job this week, but right now we don't really need it, and that's going to take us into the weekend with the dry stuff. We're getting a break from the thunderstorms, and it just happens to coincide with our weekend. We will take that and run with it. Unfortunately, Sam, this is just a break that I'm tracking as rounds of showers and thunderstorms start to take aim at the Bluegrass State perhaps a little sooner than most folks may think. The hour-by-hour forecast has the latest timing on the return of those storms, but I come back in 10 minutes.
A judge has set a trial date for an eastern Kentucky man accused of causing a crash that killed 4 people. Shawn Hardin faces murder charges. Tonight we've learned his trial will begin on August 10th. Last August, police say Hardin was driving drunk in Breathitt County when his truck crashed into a house. All 4 people killed were riding inside Hardin's truck. Police now believe someone killed a man whose body was found in a Madison County creek. After an autopsy today, state police say the victim was identified as 29-year-old Francisco Martinez Castillo of Richmond. They say they're now investigating his death as a homicide. Police say the victim was last seen alive March 20th. He was reported missing the next day. Police say kayakers found his body Wednesday night in Silver Creek near Richmond. Governor Beshear has asked for a state investigation into whether the Cabinet for Education and Workforce Development mismanaged federal workforce investment dollars. That money is supposed to be used to help people find work, but our news partners at the Herald Leader report a state audit questioned if the Cabinet incorrectly charged staff time to the wrong federal workforce grants. So how much did the fan celebrations during the NCAA tournament cost the city of Lexington? Today we learned the price tag. Lexington city leaders say they spent more than $75,000 in all. $48,000 of that was for Lexington police, who handled crowd control. Money was also spent for firefighters, code enforcement, and garbage pickup. Despite extra police on State Street and South Limestone, police say they still had plenty of officers on hand for other calls.
We don't sacrifice any service to the public to provide an atmosphere for people to celebrate.
City leaders say they actually spent less money compared to last year, mainly because UK played an extra game in the tournament then. They all rose to fame through their music, and they all have Kentucky roots. Tonight, the newest class of the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame and Museum was inducted during a ceremony in Lexington. The new members include Montgomery Gentry and 2 members of the Backstreet Boys. Monique Blair was on hand.
There's no place like home.
The 2015 Kentucky Music Hall of Fame inductees all have rich Kentucky ties and have made a tremendous impact in the music industry.
I grew up half my life in Harrodsburg, Kentucky, went to Mercer County Elementary School. Then we moved to the mountains of eastern Kentucky, halfway between Irvine and Beattyville. And I graduated from Estill County High School.
Country duo Halfway to Hazard received a humanitarian award tonight for raising more than $1 million towards eastern Kentucky concerns.
Kentucky is such a rich history of talent and artists and writers and singers and wow.
Retired Vice President of Real Property Special Projects for WKYT, Tom Bennett was awarded the Distinguished Service Award tonight for his advocacy on behalf of the museum. Past Kentucky Music Hall of Fame inductees include John Michael Montgomery, Ricky Skaggs, and Rosemary Clooney, to name a few.
To be inducted and to be part with the, them legends that's there is, it's pretty, chilly.
In Lexington, Monique Blair, WKYT.
A lot of talent there tonight. More than 700 people attended tonight's event at the Lexington Center. The Kentucky Music Hall of Fame and Museum is in Renfro Valley in Rockcastle County. She refused to let a rare form of brain cancer get in the way of living her dreams on the basketball court. But today, Lauren Hill lost her battle. She died in Cincinnati at the age of 19. Her inspiring battle to never give up made national headlines. And as Terry Okita tells us, Hill spent her final year leaving behind a lasting legacy.
The Mount St. Joseph University women's basketball team wore the number 22 at a school vigil Friday. They came together to honor the legacy teammate Lauren Hill fought so hard to leave behind.
We lost an unselfish angel.
Hill was diagnosed with a rare terminal brain cancer shortly after her 18th birthday, but she never let her inoperable brain tumor stop her from living her dream to play college basketball.
I wanted to wear those shoes and wear that jersey and feel like a superhero again, because that's what I feel when I put on the jersey and that number.
The ball goes down to Lauren Hill, and the layup is good.
Last November, in front of a sold-out arena of 10,000 fans, Hill scored during her first NCAA college basketball game. She played 4 games, scoring 5 baskets before stepping off the court.
Today's been the best day I've ever had.
Hill's fighting spirit landed her on a Wheaties box. In February, she received an honorary doctorate.
I'm not fighting for myself. I'm fighting for others, and I'm fighting for the future.
Hill's foundation has raised more than $1.5 million for pediatric cancer research. Terry Okita for CBS News.
A memorial service will be held for Lauren Hill Monday night at 7. It will be at the Cintas Center at Xavier University in Cincinnati. That service will be open to the public. A Western Kentucky mother wants to know why someone threw a ketchup bottle at her car with her and her young son inside. It happened last night in Paducah. The mother says someone in a truck driving in the opposite direction threw the bottle at her car. The bottle shattered the windshield and splattered ketchup all over the inside of the car. Both the mother and son say it was frightening.
It was all over the seat, and it was all over him, and I thought he was bleeding that bad.
I covered my face with my arms and screamed.
Both of them had cuts from flying glass, but they were not seriously injured. The mother says she did not recognize the truck where the bottle was thrown from. Police are investigating. A $1,000 reward is being offered for information that leads to an arrest in that case. Lexington and New Orleans have more in common than just a love for bourbon. They are tied for the 27th most literate cities in the country. Minneapolis scoring the top spot, followed by Washington, D.C., Seattle, St. Paul, Minnesota, and Atlanta. Lexington's 27th ranking, by the way, was better than Indianapolis and Louisville. The rankings come from Central Connecticut State University. They looked at the number of local bookstores, education statistics, internet and library access, and how many people subscribe to newspapers. A familiar site on the University of Kentucky campus has been closed. UK has blocked off the blue courts outside the Joe Kraft Center. UK leaders tell us they're having to move some facilities as part of the construction of a new student center, and they're also building some temporary facilities. No word if the blue courts will be replaced. Are you looking for some ideas to improve your home? We have got the ticket for you. You'll find them this weekend at the 40th Annual Central Kentucky Home and Garden Show. It kicked off today at the Lexington Center. The show features vendors and exhibits for improving your home and garden. And there are many demonstrations as well. The show is open from 10 to 8 tomorrow and 11 to 5 on Sunday. Tickets are $8 for adults. Children 16 and under are free. So I hope you'll go check that out.